So there we have it. Scotland are now nicely ready for the World Cup with a 33-6 win over Georgia. Ready for that pool of death. It's going to be awesome. Every game involving Scotland is always box office, and this one was the same, even though there weren't any tries in the first half. Now, the way I'm going to do these sorts of reviews from now on is start with a what did we learn, kind of a summary at the beginning, and then maybe a slightly shorter match report after that. Some people like one way, some like the other, so I'm going to go for this kind of mixed approach and see how it goes. So anyway, Scotland, they definitely learnt a lot from this game, because in that first half, they were just too keen to get the ball to the wings. They did it well, but it just let Georgia drift off and really organise their defence. They kind of knew what was coming. It was hard work, but they could cope with it because they weren't punching holes. Scotland weren't punching those big holes to really commit the defenders to create a bit of overlap, naturally, rather than just try and force it, if you like. I mean, they did some good half breaks. Van der Merwe was dangerous throughout. Stain was dangerous. They get the ball to the wings for sure. Russell tries and creates things, but if they force it, it can get frustrating, and Georgia actually were in the lead at half-time. Then Scotland mixed it up much better in the second half. They hit up a lot harder with their forwards, created more gaps, and then they really cut loose. So one thing we know about Georgia is they're super organised, they play a lot together. They've got one superstar there at fullback, Niniashvili, some amazing high kicks and regathers himself. On 9 minutes, I make a note that Scotland have no trouble getting into their standard attacking shape. They weren't being stopped from getting into their attacking shape. They had loads of attack in that first half, but like I said, they didn't commit enough defenders and the defence could cope with it. The Georgian attack isn't flash. They definitely go up a little bit more basic, a little less quick, although when there is an opportunity, they will try and break with the offload occasionally, but generally they put 3, maybe 4 people into a ruck at times, and Scotland weren't getting anywhere near their ball, so Georgia were guaranteeing possession, whereas Scotland, with their fast game plan, sometimes just had one person securing a ruck, and it did let Georgia nick the ball at times. It was a little bit looser from Scotland in that first half. Scrummaging from Scotland was good. Definitely no shortage of good attacking possession from that, but the strength of the Georgian tacklers was impressive. Teams are really going to have to beat Georgia. They're not just going to give that to them. On 20 minutes, Ninias really sparking the Georgian counter-attack. They nearly get in with a grubber kick after that, and Scotland survive, but they do get another penalty. That was 6-0 at that point, 20 minutes in. On 26 minutes, there's nearly an opportunity for Scotland as Ritchie and Darge finally spot a Georgian ruck that's a bit vulnerable. Good counter ruck. Scotland go for it into the 22, but the Georgian defence is very alert, and a big tackle on Russell ends the opportunity, and Scotland were getting a bit frustrated in this first half. They nearly nick one when a Stain goes through the Georgian line, but once again the Georgian defence scrambles well. They just need cooler heads to Scotland in those sorts of positions. They just get a bit too excited because they know how good they are. They know what exciting rugby they can play. I think they just get a bit carried away. So yeah, 0-6 at half time, but the game was more exciting than that scoreline suggests. Second half starts exactly like the first with the speed of ball from Scotland, but they are going a little more direct with the forwards. Russell, an unbelievable offloader, literally offloads around the back of 3 Georgian defenders. Van der Merwe causing all sorts of problems. A little reverse pass from White to Van der Merwe was a clean break from nothing. That nearly gets a try. But then there's only so much hanging on you can do. In 46 minutes, they get their first try. It's absolute genius from Russell because he's got some runners. He's got some centre runners who he'd want to hit probably. There is a wide option, but he runs out of time, but he doesn't panic. He puts the crossfield kick from the outside of his boot. Amazing stuff to Van der Merwe to gather and score. So they go ahead, they stay ahead. It's 7-6 at that point. Then another quick-fire try. It's Hall-Bean Scotland 10 minutes in and Georgia haven't touched the ball. Van der Merwe, again, the man breaking through. Scotland pour onto the ball with loads of pace and Darge is the man who crashes over. Really good try, and that kind of breaks Georgia. From then on, they managed to take Russell off at that point because the job is done. He's uninjured, and I think they get through this game with pretty much no injuries. So that's a really big plus for Scotland. And they get 3 more tries here, pour onto the ball. They're really going now. They're getting the power game going. Dempsey is absolutely the key man for that. Matt Fagerson is a really good number 8, but Dempsey is that bit bigger, that bit more bulky, and he was really good. He drives over 21-6. And yeah, the game is gone now. Scotland enjoying themselves. Dempsey wading through the tacklers again on 67 minutes. Really direct, legs pumping. I think he takes out like 4 or 5 Georgian defenders, and Steyn is a guy who just has to fall over the line. 28-6. Time for one more try. Great finish in the corner from that man Van der Merwe, who had a bit of a field day in that second half. So 33-6. Good win for Scotland. They got there in the end. A good lesson that they do have to go direct from the beginning as well, and then they can open up and score that fantastic range of tries of that they do. So, but whatever happens in that pool, it's going to be a great ride for Scotland. And if you haven't already entered the free giveaway for some custom rugby artwork, like behind me by Scottish artist Blair Skivington, click on that link below and enter. I'm going to draw that at the end of the week. So all the comments below on how Scotland is shaping up. Love to know your thoughts, and I'll catch you next time.